The heavy mace might just be the best weapon in Chivalry 2, and in today's video, we're going to defend Galencourt while we break down why. What is going on, guys? It's Sean and Salami, and I have long maintained that the Messer is the best weapon in Chivalry 2. The reason being because the Messer has great drags and excels on every single attack while having great damage, be it overhead slashes, light drags, heavy drags, excels, it doesn't matter. But the heavy mace is devastating for the same reasons. It has a few drawbacks we're going to get into, but it doesn't matter what attack you're using, the heavy mace has you covered. So the damage numbers are on the screen now. It's a little misleading though. The heavy mace is a blunt weapon. So what this means is it gets 50% more damage against knights. And now here's the damage on the screen now for against knights. And you do get 25% bonus damage against footmen, but the main takeaway here is the damage against knights is crazy because it's the most popular class in the game by far. I would guess that in an average lobby, the amount of vanguards and footmen combined to maybe about as much knights as you'll see. Now the downside that goes along with all that damage to knights and footmen is that blunt weapons get hit stop. Hit stop is when you can't cleave through enemies. So say you're fighting 2 or 3 opponents, you're not going to be able to hit through them. But overall, hit stop is not really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things when you consider the damage that you're doing. And if you account for it going into fights and remember that you have it, it's not really much to worry about. One thing I should start worrying about is the absolute fuck ton of team damage I do in this game, because this is not cool at all. I am beating the shit out of my teammates. Don't do that. But nevertheless, sit back and enjoy as we defend Galencourt and showcase the heavy mace in a very long game. This one's pretty long. We'll have our tips, tricks, funny moments along the way. It's no secret I need to work on my dueling in 1v1s, and here I'm fighting a Vanguard. And while the heavy mace can obliterate knights with having its blunt damage and quick speed, it's not going to be noticeable against Vanguards. That's when you run into some trouble. But you can tell I'm overthinking that fact here because I'm not really using enough swing manipulation or feints really. It's a lot of just basic attacks. Most of the time when you're in a 1v1, you want to be using swing manipulation on almost every single attack, so be it a drag or excel. But luckily, our teammates are going to come back us up, and we're able to get the kill after a pretty annoying fight.
Keep the Masons off of our wall!
A lot of people hate on the longsword because of how much you can gamble with it for a two-hander, and I felt a taste of my own medicine right there when someone did it to me, because as a longsword main, that's something I typically do if someone's using an overhead-to-overhead feint. So now that they've captured this objective, instead of running out in the open, I'm just going to wait for a forward spawn, and it's on to the defend the ships phase. This part drives me a little crazy. You guys have heard me talk about this if you've been watching the channel for a while. I don't understand where I'm supposed to go, because if I stay at the ships, all my teammates are dying, trying to stop them, and that's a little unfair of me to just stand back. But if I go up here, I'm just going to die anyway, so I don't know. This whole in-between part before they get to the ships when they're up on this like grassy area, I'm not really a fan of it. Oddly enough, after all that complaining, it looks like we're going to survive, but you'll never guess what happens next. During the first phase, a few people disconnected, so the game isn't completely full right now. That'll change, obviously, don't worry. But I think the heavy mace is even more dangerous in situations like that in smaller engagements because of that hit stop we talked about in the beginning. I've noticed in competitive matches, because of the popularity of knights, and because it's not a full 32 versus 32, you're going to run into the heavy mace a lot if you do those, and it's infuriating how often you see it. People complain about spears and whatnot, but I don't know. This weapon, I think that's half the reason you don't see me use it as much, because I just get so sick of fighting against it in the higher tier lobby. In my Discord's most recent event, someone even remarked on that when people were complaining about spears, how much more annoying it is to fight the heavy mace, and I totally agree. I've always found spear hate overblown, but hey, that could be the night main in me. But if you'd like to join the Discord, the link is in the description, and we have a lot more events on the way. That's something we plan on doing pretty regularly now. If you've been wanting to get into the Chivalry 2 community, my Discord is the perfect place to start because it's perfect for new players, or if you're not taking the game too serious. It's really for the casuals. Awesome stuff in there. Definitely check it out. We also have our own duel yard as well. If you want to get into a duel yard with a similar mindset where it's welcoming to new players or people first learning how to duel, search the Unyielding Duel Yard on the server browser list. But during that whole rant, they did explode the ships, so now it's on to defend the gates. So this is where the heavy mace can fall off a bit, is on these meat grinder type of objectives, because when you do have that hit stop, it makes it a little harder to get multiple kills at once, and you could get you killed when you stop on one enemy and then another hits you that you think you'd usually cleave through. You can get around this, like I said earlier, with heavy swinging, but that leaves you much more open to attack. And it is great fun to just cleave through everybody with the heavy mace, but again, you're going to die a lot if you do that. You will get a lot of kills, but I do highly recommend it because it is fun. I'm not doing it in this match though because I'm trying to showcase the weapon, but just something to keep in mind. So it looked like we would for sure hold them with all these barricades up and the fact that it was down to the final 5 seconds, but they are able to get it. Now check this out right here. I start crawling towards the gate because if you die in the explosion from the objective, most objectives you die like that, it doesn't count for your actual deaths because the game's kind of rewarding you for doing the objective and being on it. Another example is like the Thaic Towers or the exploding tower in Aberfeld.
Defend the main gate!
So after a few quick deaths, they are able to get the gates, and now it's on to the Relics phase. This phase is always so strange to me as well, because they just is automatic, but it's fun nonetheless, because you get to get fights in a wide open area. So nothing too crazy going on right now. A good thing you want to do in a phase that's wide open like this, another one that comes to mind is like the Fallmire phase 3 with the prisoners, is just go behind people and heavy overhead them, because a lot of times people are just ripe for the picking while they're fighting your teammates in the lobby like this. So you get a lot of free kills that way, just looking around instead of just tunnel visioning on one person. Fun fact, I've never once seen the Relics phase held on Galencourt, so now it's on the defend the church phase. Let's see if we can hold them there. I definitely want to go for a heavy swing here when I'm defending the objective, because I'm directly behind them. Even if I am going to get hit, I know the risk going in. However, even with the kills that we do get, they are able to break down the church pretty quickly. So now it comes down to defend Phaedron's tomb phase. Now, this is the last one. So I would like to ask, if you're enjoying the video, to please give it a like. And definitely check out the Discord, and channel memberships, if you'd like to support me in that way, are going to be in the pinned comment. Let's see if we can defend the tomb.
I was never so bit of a word.
So in the end, we are able to get the win. Now, I'm a little torn on which one is better between the Heavy Mace and the Messer. The video bringing down the Messer is on the screen now, but let me know in the comments which one you guys think is better. Love you guys. See you in the next one.